quickly. Chase Sexton, hey, you got to get the good start. He knows he's got the speed, loves the track. Maybe last year had COVID. There's other things going on here that he hasn't had the results he wanted. He's got to focus forward. No matter where Eli is, just focus forward. Don't worry about that, where Eli is. And you know what? It's all down to 4 motos. 20 are done. They don't even matter at this point. You got 1 point separating, and you know what? The Vegas odds might just be in Chase's favor because of the likes this track and his performances recently at the Fox Raceway.
Look at this. These two on the line next to each other. The tension, you can cut it down there with a knife. Everybody's acting cool, calm, and collected, but they know this is a championship that's probably worth 7 figures when you add it all together, and they're lined up right next to each other on the line, and they've been there for about 10 minutes just thinking about it. 1
minute, and we're going to know what's going on here. It just is I'll tell you, they picked right next to each other. That's surprising, but utmost respect for each other. You know, Eli knows, and both of them know that they can race each other hard and respectfully.
Some news from last week. There's Barsha, the 51. He's actually disqualified from the second 450 moto last week. Had a big collision with Dylan Ferrandis. And MX Sports Pro Racing, promoters of these events, the officials DQ'd him from that second moto. And Ferrandis, last year's champion, is back out again with injury, really got banged up in that crash. I'm not exactly sure Ferrandis' status. We might get him back next weekend. March is okay. Sure not happy about the DQ. See how he rebounds today. There's a lot on the line here.
Well, Barsha, despite posting some videos trying to defend himself, I mean, at this point, it's irrefutable. When you do that and you crash into somebody right in front of the same corner, the AMA official of safety is standing there watching the exact same incident. It's pretty hard to argue.
And the DQ, you do not see that very often in motocross. All right, Fly Racing 30-second card is up. So much on the line, not just with Tomac and Sexton, but remember, Jason Anderson won last weekend's race. We rarely see a 450 field swell and get deeper and stronger as the year goes on, but that's been the case in 2022. So there are many different scenarios about to unfold. Let's go racing.
There's no sound in motorsports like that. The 450's barrel around the first
somebody's
corner.
Down, and it's Anderson.
Jason Anderson already off the bat. Unfortunately, one of our fastest riders, last week's winner, gets tangled up with...
Runkle's down with him. Christian Craig, I've not seen much of Craig getting hole shots this year, but he's got it. Roczen, Barsha, Shane McElrath as well.
Yeah, there's your hole shot. You expected to see a dozen of them by now, and that's one of the first ones by Christian Craig, but it doesn't take long for the 94 Ken Roczen to work his way into the front.
Roczen is so good. We say it every week early in these races. He goes by Craig, takes the lead. Barsha and McElrath, who's now part of the Muck-Off Club MX Yamaha team, and he's looking to take third for Barsha, and he does.
Well, great start by Shane, and good early moto here, and we see holding off third place right now. Wonder how long that white seat's going to stay white with this loamy dark dirt here. Chocolate cake all over the seat.
They were looking at Dungey and then Tomac. Barsha coming right back on McElrath, but he's on the outside of this corner. McElrath holds him at bay.
And another rider who has a lot of familiarity with this track here, Aaron Plessinger, is working his way in a good start there. A guy that's ridden GNCC races, but one of
the pegs. Go ahead.
Boy, but one of the things we were very surprised to hear, actually, that Chase Sexton has also raced a GNCC race here. So this Ironman Raceway since 1995 have been holding GNCCs, although this is our 9th edition of the AMA National.
Yeah, GNCC, they used the 12-mile route through the woods, and then they built a motocross track, and now we have this, the Ironman National, as Dungey goes after Barsha. Then you see Tomac a little bit further back. Sexton was 12th. He's in the 10th now. Dungey looking to get around the 51.
Yeah, he wants to make quick work of this because he doesn't want to be battling with that known aggression of number 51, Justin Barsha, and he gets his way into third. He's already really nice job by Ryan Dungey working his way up into fourth place here. And as the ruts get deeper and deeper here at the Ironman, and this is only the first moto of the 450, I can't imagine what it's going to look like in another couple hours.
Barsha trying to get Dungey back. We're going to check in on Sexton here. He's in the center of that Thor battle box behind Plessinger. Plessinger makes a mistake. Sexton tries to take advantage. There's Tomac leaning on Barsha. Dungey going after McElrath. I told you this 450 field is deep. Dungey going to try to use the outside to inside on McElrath. Let's see if he can make it happen.
Yeah, we're barely a lap into this moto right now, and you know, watching the battle up front is great, but we have to look at where see the number 3 Eli Tomac and Chase Sexton, not the start he wanted for his battle for the championship.
Freddie Noren actually in the BBMX KTM is in front of him as well as you watch that battle box. Dunge, did he make it happen on McElrath? He does. He completes it, and Tomac gets around Barcia. So now McElrath will have to deal with Tomac.
Yep, Dunge, nice move. I mean, we all kind of secretly hope, I mean, no question, the fans, we'd like to see Dunge get a podium before the season's over. Coming off of 5 years of retirement, as you see Eli Tomac scrub it on the monster launch. Making that move, getting around McElrath and heading after Dungey.
Ooh, Sexton having a tough time here. Now getting an inside line on Noren. Let's see if he can complete the move. Beautiful job down the middle, but still not enough. Dungey and Tomac now going at it. Tomac is not wasting time. Oh, but he got cut off on the takeoff. Couldn't jump.
Yep, that's the jump we talked about earlier on in the 250 class. That's a tough little combination. You got to air it out there. And unfortunately, for Eli Tomac, he wasn't able to get it, but he didn't lose a whole lot of time, and he's trying to make another move on the inside here.
And then McElrath hanging tough right there as well. Now they have caught Craig. This is for second. Dungey and Craig have been battling all summer long. Tomac's going to get them both. Had the inside, then Dunge off the racetrack, so he completes the pass on Dungey. Cannot quite get around his teammate Craig.
Yeah, we thought he was going to have a twofer there, but he didn't quite pull it off. But hopefully Christian Craig's well aware that that blue fender belongs to his championship leading teammate, and he's not going to hinder Eli.
Well, this has all worked out for Tomac, who now does take the measure of his teammate, because look, Sexton's still not able to make moves. He finally squares up and makes a pass there. But he has not moved up as rapidly as Tomac has, who's into the number 2 spot of the monster Yamaha Star Racing machine.
Yeah, Sexton's now worked his way up, we mentioned in 6th, but he's still got to get around Justin Barcia. And again, he's going to be burning up a lot of energy doing this, and also it's kind of stressful. So that added stress elevates your heart rate, the blood pressure, the whole deal. This is not where he wanted to be. And
he does take the measure of Barcia around the outside, so that'll make it a little easier. And then I think that's Dungey. Yes, he has actually gotten into the picture. It would be Dungey next. So he's just outside there. He is to the left side. He sees back in this battle. So we now have Tomac and Sexton getting a little bit closer on the racetrack than they were a lap or two ago.
Well, they've done a great job preparing this Ironman raceway. Multiple lines. We early saw in the 250 race where the extreme edges still hadn't roughened up yet. People were taking those lines on both edges of the track. Now those are gotten a little rougher, and people are able to start moving back into the lines that they used early in the practice and qualifying sessions.
Eli Tomac up to second, 2.5 seconds behind his old rival, Ken Roczen. Now he's dealing with his new Honda rival in Sexton for this title. And Tomac wants to get away right now as Sexton tries to go after the Dungey and Craig battle. I'm going to show you the gap between them here in this shot. It's the beta drone cam. See Tomac coming out of the corner and Sexton now getting out of it. Tomac over that hump, and now Sexton arrives there. And as far as the math is concerned, that's about 4 seconds. Dungey and Craig still battling. Dungey trying to make that inside work lap after lap. Been funny how it has worked all year. Dungey and Craig have been in battles all season. Sexton's closing down quick from the outside.
Hats off to the number 23 of Chase Sexton right now. He's just 3 seconds off of Eli Tomac. He's making a good run up through here. So he's charging forward. He knows he's got to go. He's got that red, white, and blue kind of a combo. Almost looks like Rainbow Sherbet outfit on, and looking like he's focusing forward.
Well, he just had the fastest lap the last time around. If anyone, he ran a 2:01.6. Tomac a 2:01.9. No one else in the 2:01. So the title contenders are starting to up the game. Sexton needs to as he attacks Dungey here for third.
Yeah, nobody's in the 2:01s, but nobody's in the 2:02s.
Yeah.
These guys are in a league of their own, no question about that. So here Chase coming down that gigantic Godzilla jump downhill, picking some lines, seeing of where you can get around both of these riders up ahead of him, and then still, again, he's got to focus forward. Oh, that is, wow.
The lines did not work in that exchange, the left and then the right. He was not where he wanted to be.
I'm not sure if he was trying to pop out of that rut on purpose or not, but that was not the action he wanted. That could have easily thrown him on the ground, and I'm sure that's he won't be taking that approach the next lap. So.
And he closes right back in on Dungey, who is right there on Craig. So this is critical third, fourth, fifth. Sexton trying to put in a drive. He switches from the outside to the inside on Dungey now.
Full scrub off the face of that jump to get back down on the inside, knowing that the end of the straightaway is a right-hander. So once he's going parallel to Dungey all the way down, now they cross over again, which is a surprise to me that Chase would give it that inside up, but he makes it work.
Confident he can hold Dungey at bay, even to the outside. Now it's Tomac's teammate that he's dealing with in Craig, and he is crossing all over this racetrack. Sexton looking for running room.
Yeah, and I think he was also confident in Ryan Dungey, to be honest with you, because you kind of have to know who you're racing, and Chase does. So here again, scrubbing it, staying low. This is a tricky section coming up on the wall jump in front of the mechanics area. Not even a chance to glance over your mechanic here. You don't see one of these guys looking at those boards. You can't. It's too tricky there.
So a couple of shots at it from Sexton, not able to get close enough to get Craig. Meanwhile, it looks like Tomac has caught Roxon. This is our Thor battle box with the Lucas Oil helicopter showing you Tomac going for the #1 spot.
This is great. We got two battles in a split screen right here, and Tomac's trying to make it work on Ken Roxon here, but also you got Chase Sexton trying to make a run. So this up over the Godzilla here, big air, big elevation change. And Eli's going to be launching back down, trying to get a run on Ken Roxon.
So 2 Honda HRC machines and 2 Yamahas. Let's send it down to Jason Thomas. Go ahead, JT.
Best tracks. Sorry, guys, I cut out there. This is a great track for Ken Roxon. In fact, it's his second best racetrack on the circuit overall for his career. Now, Eli Tomac, to his credit, he mentioned last week the biggest thing that held him back in Moto 2 was not being able to make quick moves. So I was looking for aggression early, and that's exactly what we got. He didn't waste any time getting to the front.
Did that in Moto 1 last week, but yeah, Moto 2 you just kept waiting for, and it did not materialize. Now only one rider standing between Tomac and the lead.
It is. Last week we talked about Eli. We kind of speculated that possibly his tire choice might not have been the best thing going to a paddle. I talked to him after the race. He said, absolutely not. If that tire works at my track in Cortez, Colorado, it'll work anywhere. And he said, I just should have made a bigger change to the front end of the bike. I was having trouble steering it and not really able to make the changes. Jason Thomas just referenced there, but here you see him making changes anywhere he wants. Right?
Sexton on the inside of Craig, and let's see if he can finish it off. He does. So he's in the third. Tomac on the outside trying to get Roxon. Can he leap by him? No.
Yeah, we're looking at simultaneous passes here, and most very important passes too. But now Chase Sexton has got his way right behind, only 2 points in deficit of Eli Tomac. But Eli Tomac, I can't imagine, is going to stay where he is very long.
Well, Roxon's a critical juncture. He's Sexton's teammate, and the more he battles Tomac, the better chance of Sexton catching Tomac. There you see the gap.
Yes, and I think right now, you have to be honest with yourself here. I mean, you see that gap closing down. You got Eli Tomac trying to make a move on Ken Roxon. But if Eli Tomac does pass Ken Roxon, I think you're going to see Ken Roxon not try to impede Chase Sexton here. This is way too important for Honda. I mean, it's been a few years since Honda won a championship here. This is really important to them.
And Roxon is a tough rider to pass, not from a defensive standpoint. He's just so smart. He'll have a way of just going where you want to go. It's never dirty. It's never aggressive. But he is as crafty as they come, Roxon, when he's on his game. We've seen races where he's not feeling physically fit, and that's a different story. But if he's strong today, he's not easy to get around.
And right there, you see Ken Roxon come out of that corner right there. Believe it or not, he's using what Chase Sexton damaged in that berm. He's now turned into a proper line.
Wow.
So that berm caved away, and I saw Roxon the lap before jump out of that berm, and he just did it. So remember, Ken Roxon is helping his teammate Chase Sexton right now. If he can hold Eli Tomac at bay and he can impede his forward progress, even 1/10 of a second or 1/2 of a second a lap, this allows Chase to gather up and get right behind. And you do see that gap, it looks like, between Chase Sexton and Eli Tomac starting to get closer. So Ken Roxon's doing his job, holding up Eli Tomac if at all possible, and letting Chase Sexton join the crowd.
Oh yeah, Sexton is definitely closing. Tomac going to try a move on the outside through the rollers. This will set Tomac up for the inside here. Roxon's got to be very quick on the entrance, not quick enough. Tomac's on the inside. That rut is very difficult. Tomac handles it. He's into the lead.
What an impressive move by Eli Tomac there. He got his bike back on the ground and just grabbed a big handful of that 450 Yamaha. Was able to squirt up inside of Ken Roxon and make the move. A little bobble there, but nothing that he can't handle. Coming out of that first corner there, and here comes Chase. We got all three big players. Here they come, right here in the same shot. What a great drone footage here. This has just been such a perfect addition to it. This is what we wanted. This is a bird's eye view of the whole race that we need to see in one shot.
And you can hear the crowd coming to life as well. Good shots on that Lucas Oil helicopter. Now the pressure is on Sexton to respond. You know Tomac's going to put in burner laps now to try to get away. Can Sexton get around his teammate and keep the gap close?
Yeah, Chase Sexton's already within just a half a second or so, maybe a second of Ken Roczen. And again, if Ken Roczen even slows Chase down for a moment, I'll be surprised. I think he's going to yield here.
It was 3.2 seconds at one point, the gap between first and third. Now it is about 1 second, they're saying. So Sexton has closed in a little bit while they were battling. Yeah, it's definitely closer than it was. Let's see how the Honda teammates work here in this fight for the number 2 spot.
Yeah, a lap ago when we were watching this exact section called Hoosier Hole for the state, we're in the Hoosier state,
yep.
Right? You know, if you're a basketball fan, you know about the Hoosiers. So there we see before it was 3 seconds in that little area down there, and now it's 2 seconds, the gap between Tomac and Sexton, that is. So it looks now it's maybe creeped up about maybe a half a second, but Chase has got to get around Ken, and again, I do not think Ken's going to be battling him too hard.
All right, Sexton enters this corner on the outside, try to set himself up for the inside here. First time he's been able to show his teammate a wheel. Roczen definitely knows who it is now.
Yeah, he
drag race to the sand rollers. There he goes.
There's the answer to your question right there. He glanced over and like, here, Chase, go for it. You know, you got a little more speed than I can't really help you anymore. I did the best I could. And, you know, of course you want to be the top dog on the team, but let's be realistic at this point right now. These two guys have dominated 18 of the 20 motos, so there's nobody kidding themselves.
2.4 seconds in it between Tomac and Sexton. See Dungey and Craig still battling. Now it is 4th and 5th. Plessinger, Barsha, Noren, McElrath, Malcolm Stewart rounds out your top 10. And it's what the fans came to Indiana to see. Tomac versus Sexton for the lead.
And the one rider that's actually making his run up there that's nice is Jason Anderson. We saw him laying in the first corner.
Wow.
Last week's winner is already in 10th place. Again, 30 seconds behind, but come on, he's come from last 40th place to 10th. So great job.
Halfway through, 15 minutes down, 15 minutes to go. In 15 minutes, you can make a quick phone call to Geico and save 15% on your insurance. This might be the most critical 15 minutes of the whole season right now, as it looks to me like Sexton is closing on Tomac.
He does, absolutely closing, or no question about it. And it's just nice to watch Chase ride, you know, balls of his feet. I saw him in that last couple corners ago. He just was going to hit some bumps. He sort of elevated himself on his leg, propped himself up a little bit so his back end of his butt wasn't getting beat up on the seat, and just let the bike absorb the bumps, and he powered out of the corner. So just fun to watch these guys. They're so talented. I just big fans of both of them.
Launching out of that Hoosier hole there, you're watching Sexton. Roczen back to 3rd. Might have a 3-way battle soon between Roczen, Craig, and Dungey, but you know everyone is focused on this. Tomac versus Sexton. A 1-point series lead for Tomac. And that 1 point doesn't sound like much, but it's the difference between Sexton has to do better than Tomac over these final 4 motos. If they split it, let's say they each get 2 first, 2 seconds, that 1 point would give the title to Tomac. So the point is, Sexton has to go out and beat him, and really would be very helpful if he could do it right now.
He has to, no question. He has to do it and take this away and get the momentum back in his favor. He's won 4 of the last 5 motos. Seems like he's had the momentum, but this is exactly what Tomac needed to do. He needs to pop that bubble. Tomac knows that Chase came in here with a little bit of confidence. Back of his head, he's like, look, I really love this track. I'm going to ride well here. And I've, you know, again, I got the momentum on my side. And then I love the last race, Fox Raceway. So here he is. He thought it, and Eli knows that. He's going to go, man, if I can just burst the bubble a little bit here, it's a big difference.
He's got it down to 1.8. Last time around, Sexton was 0.2 of a second quicker than Tomac. But Tomac is so strong late in the motos and not prone to making mistakes. To just go out there and get Eli Tomac for the lead is something very few have ever been able to do in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. And that's the challenge in front of Sexton right now. And the lap traffic does not want to be part of this story. They are basically stopped on the track to let these guys by.
You know, I didn't have the luxury of sitting in on the riders meeting by the AMA officials, but there's a good chance when championships do come on the line, you know, for those of us who have been in there and listened to them, they do mention it during the riders meeting. Hey, listen, you guys got a pretty important championship on the line. Don't be that guy. And so they do tend to mention it. I don't know if they did today, but wouldn't have not surprised me had they done that.
Sexton able to muscle the Honda through there, standing up, feet on the pegs through these ruts.
Gosh.
The midsection of the course usually tends to favor Tomac a little bit, and he gaps it back out. And then getting toward the finish line, Sexton will close back in. So the track, with the timing loops, they actually divide it into 3 sectors. It's like the first 2 seem to favor Sexton. Midway through, Tomac has something. And here's Sexton closing back in.
Little bobble there coming out of that corner by Chase. You saw his rear end stay down in the bottom part of the rut when he was trying to kind of get his bike to climb out of it a bit. But these ruts are in such a manner that one little mistake in a corner can make all the difference in winning and losing this race.
And they've checked out of the rest of the field. That is no surprise. The championship intensity bringing them to another level. 0.3 quicker the last time around, Sexton compared to Tomac. And it's even closer with each shot we see.
Yeah, I actually like that line Chase took there. It was a little bit shorter distance. You know, if you're going about the same speed, you're covering less ground, you're going to make up time. And so Chase did a nice job getting back on the gas, taking a little bit inside. But boy, you can just hear each one of these guys grabbing the throttle for all the 450 motors are worth there.
Right now, Tomac, the 1-point lead would go to a 4-point lead if he wins this moto. But you've got to stay with us. 10 minutes and 2 laps to go, and Sexton just keeps locking it down. It's 1.1 seconds where it was 1.8.
Yeah, it's either going to be a +4 or a -2. What's it going to be, right?
That's right. Yes, it's a 3-point differential between a moto win and a second place. So that's what's at stake in the small picture in the championship in this one moto. Oh, no! Oh, boy. Now, Sexton, a mistake. He cut inside of that tree turn. See how the officials call that one? You know, the Yamaha folks will want to look at it. That's a tough one. Wow.
Ouch.
Yes.
There's nothing he could have done, but I possibly think I think if he would have backed off a little bit on the
take a
throttle,
look at it again here.
Maybe raise his hand a little bit, like, oops, I obviously made a mistake. I can't do anything about it.
Oh, boy. Well, sometimes
you know what? In slow-mo, he didn't get as aggressive as I thought he would there, so that's going to be
he's right there.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one, and now here we are. What's going on? We didn't see what happened, but obviously Eli had to have made a mistake somewhere in that quarter of the track, and now Chase is all over him. So, of course, the Yamaha rider, you know, they're going to argue their case, and Honda's going to argue their case. But
here it is, wheel to wheel. Tomac and Sexton for the lead at the Ironman National. Sexton has done the job. He was 3.2 seconds back at one point. Now we're down to mere bike lengths.
Boy, oh boy, this is an impressive little couple laps of Chase.
Oh,
other
Sexton
than that one
inside.
bobble. Oh, man, I don't even know where Chase gained all that time on Eli. I'd like to see figured out where it is, but he's just riding really well. Good line selection. Oops, that one was maybe not the best one, but it's yeah, he's running it hard.
Send it down to JT.
Guys, you're asking where he found that time. A lapper got in Eli Tomac's way on that really fast double over the hump, and Eli couldn't do it. Chase Sexton did it right behind him and closed right up to him, so nothing other than bad luck for Tomac there.
All right, so we'll see then, thanks JT, if Tomac can pull it back out. Like I said, this section of the track seems to have an edge. And you see the gap right now is a little bigger than it was at the beginning of the lap. But then the latter portion of the track, Sexton is able to close it back down. But a lot of it is just line choice. That is the team manager there for Tomac's squad, Jeremy Coker. They got the calculators out.
He sent in a text saying, hey, replay that footage on. Yeah,
he might be.
Again, he's going to argue his case, but I mean, I'm putting you on the spot right now, Weech. What's your call? You're the official.
Well, look, the general thing they try to say is if you're off the track, you cannot gain an advantage. So I think they're going to look at, did Sexton exit further behind than he was going into that corner? And that is very close.
It was really, really close. Unfortunately, I agree with you. You know, they changed the rule years ago where you don't have to re-enter the track where you went off. That would have been an impossible thing for Chase to do it for safety and many other reasons. But I'm leaning towards let the boys race and then figure out who's going to win here. I don't think Chase gained an advantage. What happened was when they closed down JT so astutely told us what happened. He's a racer. He knows. So yeah.
All right, here we go. Another lap clicks off. We're going to get the times and the gap. And there's Lars Lindstrom, the team manager, already talking to Jeff Canfield here of MX Sports Pro Racing. And we got to imagine it's about that tree turn. Now lap traffic is impeding the process or progress of Sexton. Now he gets around both of them and somehow gets right back to the rear wheel of Tomac.
Yeah, I was trying to read the lips of Jeff Canfield, what he was saying. He kept pointing the finger, two. Is he talking 2 points, 2 positions, or what is he saying? Or is, you buy me 2 beers and I'm going to turn my blind cheek. I don't know what he's saying, but I don't think it was the latter.
It would take a lot more than that.
But yeah, I would have liked to have saw what they were saying or listened to what they were saying. But man, the racing is just so good. This is what we all wanted and we all expected, and they're delivering it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they didn't really have the starts either. They had to pick their way through the field, and somehow they did it in unison and have given us the battle. Now Sexton has done the job of closing, but Tomac has done a phenomenal job of holding him back.
Phenomenal job of holding him back and picking up the pace and regathering after that lap rider. Sends you in a little bit of a panic. Chase has done a phenomenal job of regrouping after taking out those Geico banners right there. And another one, the blue flag and the officials around the track and the riders themselves. I'm tipping my hat to those guys right now because I'm seeing a lot of people yielding, a lot of riders understanding, don't get in the way of this battle.
Yeah, they've been exceptionally easy to get around, except that one segment there with Sexton, but he was able to quickly get back to the rear wheel of Tomac. Oh, this is so good. These fans are on the side of the track. Perfect conditions, perfect weather, and the battle they all wanted to see.
You pointed that out earlier as they come underneath that iconic covered bridge here. Chase just seems a little quicker on that segment of the track, and he is definitely gaining on Eli over that part.
Coming down to the finish line here. We'll have another look at the lap times. Everyone going wide. That hook on that inside right, it looks promising. It just has not worked. 0.9 is the gap. But last time through here, Sexton was held up by traffic. Doesn't have that problem this time. Tomac a mistake. Sexton in the lead.
That line was setting up. Chase had been taking it a lap or two before, right along the left side of the mechanics area. He squared that berm up. Eli made a mistake, and that's all it took.
I was waiting for it in the next corner where Sexton has been very fast. He got there one turn earlier, and now it's on Tomac to keep Sexton in sight.
I'll be very curious to see if Eli can regather himself here and start following. I think he can. I think he's going to follow Chase and see a few of the lines he's making on that one side of the track, and he's going to realize exactly where Chase has been making up that time.
And this is the area of the track where Tomac has been quick, down at the bottom of this leap. Can he get it back? Sexton throwing down right now to try to open the gap.
I saw Eli grab a tear-off when he went up and over the Godzilla jump, and then it looked like he was trying to reach for a secondary one as he came back on the other side of it. It's like, how many tear-offs do you need, or are you out of tear-offs? I'm going to keep an eye on that.
Sexton is doing it. He's starting to get away, and the fans love this. Sexton out of Illinois talking to the Chicago Dirt Riders, the local club and the tracks where Sexton grew up. There's a big pack of them here pulling for their guy. But Tomac, he wants to spoil the party and get him back. Fantastic racing here from Ironman Raceway.
Meet Renee, bank manager and mom of the year. But when she gets on her bike, she becomes Rebel Renee. Rebel Renee is the most outspoken member of her book club. And she didn't even read the book. It's rumored she once used her phone at trivia night.
Cleveland.
And she isn't above greasing some palms to get things done. And Rebel Renee rides with Geico because savings and great service are 2 things she'd never rebel against. Geico, savings and service for both your sides.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Motosport.com. Make your next ride your best ride. And by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.
We're back. Nothing has changed while we are away at break here on MAV TV. Continues to be Chase Sexton versus Eli Tomac. Sexton just inching away from his rival in the series, looking to retake the points lead if he wins this moto. But you can see Tomac is still lurking. More lap traffic. Sexton gets around Cullen Park in the Phoenix Honda, and Tomac is right there, actually on the inside, looking for a pass.
Using that lapped rider as an advantage. I mean, Chase just had to take a little bit different line than he normally would, but I think Eli, we talked about this last...
That inside line has not worked, but Tomac is there. He might be able to get around. No! Side by side again over the wall jump. Sexton knifes over to the side to get in front of Tomac. Tomac has found something special, and he takes the lead. Where did this come from?
That's incredible. I expected him, honestly, to drop into Chase's outside-inside combo line there. He didn't. He just went around the outside the long way and just carrying so much more momentum. And Chase, I think Chase is almost stunned, but he's not going to take it lying down.
And the crowd, the Tomac fans, come to life. They bumped wheels. Sexton was lucky to not crash.
Yep, dropping over into that rut there. Eli was headed for it, and Chase didn't think he was, and they definitely rubbed a little front and rear there.
And 1.7 seconds at one point was the gap that Sexton had opened up, but Tomac has uncorked it to retake the lead.
Interesting to see if they can get to that finish line before the 40 seconds is up. They might be receiving the 2-lap board when they come around the finish line here. Boy, this is exactly what we wanted to see.
It's going to be tight. I'm going to think it's going to be 2 to go as we watch with the ETS drone camera, and now it is Tomac starting to pull away.
This is incredible right here in the tree corner. I think they've got 3 to go. We're going to see here. It's 15 seconds. I don't think they can get there. Do you think?
Yeah,
I think
you're right.
Here.
Yep. They're not going to make it.
Down in the Hoosier hole, coming up and out. Big right-hander drop back down here, and this is a sky shot that we've seen Tomac come up short a couple times, but not this time. That is so darn hard combination. These guys just are flying through there.
Tomac has just thrown down, taking the lead. Now he has the 1.7 second gap, and it will be 2 to go the next time they come around because the clock has expired. So Eli Tomac has put in an unbelievable lap here, and it might be a championship level lap, because he was against the ropes, because Sexton had caught him and passed him, and Eli has found another gear.
This is it right here. We've got the 2-lap board is out, sorry about saying. And so the point is Eli Tomac just blew a 2:01.3. I shake my head every time these guys do this, but Eli just did his best lap of the race just then. How do you do that?
Unbelievable.
How do you go
29 minutes into it?
The 2-lap board just came out. He just did a 2:01.3, his fastest lap of the race. I mean, Chase's best lap was a 2:01.1, but last lap he did a 2:05, so he had a bit of an issue, but you don't just do that. I don't know where Eli had that extra speed hiding. It was certainly in his back pocket when he needed it.
And it is the exact opposite for Sexton, who just ran a 2:05. Tomac has put 4 seconds into Sexton in that lap before the 2 laps to go sign came out.
Because you remember that pass came just shortly after where the finish line was. So yeah, it was basically, it was not a combination of a pass and a lap time there. Eli just did a 2:01 and Chase did a 2:05 almost exactly on the lap. So there's 4 seconds right there.
Well, any championship that is close like this, each sector gets magnified. That one lap, that is clutch. That is championship-style material from Eli Tomac, and it might make all the difference because we thought Sexton was about to win this moto and take the points lead.
Well, those are out there on their Saturday barbecue, I want to say put a fork in it and turn it over. It's done because Eli Tomac, I just don't see unless something crazy happens here. That was an incredible move in that one lap there. Don't like seeing him hit that jump like that, but I do say, the last time we saw something like that was Shugel. They both did the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. This is insane.
So it will be white flag next time around for Eli Tomac, who's really opened it up on his championship rival here. I thought it was over. Sexton had done the hard work. He had caught him. He had passed him. He had begun to pull away. And then Tomac puts in his best lap of the race reclaims the lead, and now is looking at 1 to go.
Watch what he's doing right now. If you just watched that one lap, you'd say this is a qualifying session. He looks like he's charging harder physically than he was the whole race, and I believe he is. That's how you do your fastest lap. And then right there, backing it up. Good on Chase. Chase came back with a 2:02 there, but still, it's boy, Eli, remarkable into the race.
Yes, it was both Tomac's best lap and the worst for Sexton. Now it's about equal. They're both back into the 2:02s together, but that one lap makes all the difference, and it has been a trademark of Tomac his whole career. Fitness. Late in the race, beast mode charges. There's been a couple this year where Sexton was able to counter, but this time, unbelievable strength from the number 3.
That was just impressive. Obviously hasn't taken the checkered flag yet, but just what he just did was that right there. We're talking about, oh my goodness, the announcer's curse.
Yep.
That just was a little too close for anybody's comfort, but Eli's just charging forward.
Well, you know he's riding the edge right now. He's looking over.
He looked over his shoulder right there and said, see, looked over again.
Yes.
Because he's probably had once in his career, looked over his shoulder and he thought he knew where he could, looking back, knew where his competitor was, but now he's double checking to make sure he's really back that far.
Man, a couple more mistakes from Eli here. It's like almost an out-of-body experience on that one lap to change everything. It's almost like he's surprised to see Sexton is 4 seconds back.
He's surprised that he was able to do what he did, but I think in one side of himself. But I talked about the fact that he wanted to burst this bubble here. Chase had all the confidence. Look, he looks back again. When have you ever seen Chase Eli look over his shoulder that many times from into a moto? He's wanting to make sure Chase isn't closing, and Chase is closing now.
He might be out of time, but Sexton has reeled him back in. But we're into the final stage, and now the final corner. The battle you wanted to see. They both had their shot at it. Eli Tomac was clutch. He delivers the first moto at Ironman.
And you don't see any fist pump out of either of these guys. That's interesting. Normally you'll see a fist pump. He didn't see it.
Well, there's a lot more work to do with 3 motos left in this championship. What? Aaron Plessinger has taken 3rd in this moto. Our full focus was on the leaders, but he has overhauled Craig and Dungey. And the rider who loves this racetrack considers it his home race coming out of Ohio here in Indiana. And he's going to put the KTM in the box.
Okay, I'm giving us a hall pass on that one. We really didn't even have time to look over and realize what a great ride that Aaron Plessinger put in. And congratulations to him for rounding out the podium. But I'm still, that was
stunning.
Man.
That's all-time type stuff right there from Eli Tomac, ET3, trying to get his 4th championship. Listen to that crowd.
Yeah, Ironman Raceway is so good for viewing. It's just in a bowl, and you can position yourself in the shade or in the sun, wherever you want to be. You can move around the track, and you're all in grass half the time. It's such a facility. If you haven't been here, I encourage you to put it on your bucket list.
Eli Tomac digs it out. It was looking trying at one point. He found the speed and got the win.
New CRF 250R. Lighter, faster, stronger.
Ready to help you find your edge.
Meet Renee, bank manager and mom of the year. But when she gets on her bike, she becomes Rebel Renee. Rebel Renee is the most outspoken member of her book club. And she didn't even read the book. It's rumored she once used her phone at trivia night.
Cleveland.
And she isn't above greasing some palms to get things done. And Rebel Renee rides with Geico because savings and great service are 2 things she'd never rebel against. Geico, savings and service for both your sides.
I am Monster Me.
Introducing the 2023 Beta RR off-road model lineup. Beta has the broadest model selection available, each with its own characteristics, as well as our trademark Italian design and rideability. Choose from a 125, 200, 250, or 300 two-stroke models, or a 350, 390, 430, or 480 four-stroke model. Learn more at betausa.com to locate a dealer near you. Go ahead, you deserve it.
At Robert Yates Racing Engines, we strive for perfection day in and day out. We run E3 spark plugs in the NASCAR spec engine.
E3 Diamond Fire technology maximizes the fuel burn for more power and better fuel efficiency.
The spark plug is a key component of the engine. It can make or break you, so it's key that the plugs are robust and have had great success at the track with them. We run E3 spark plugs. What are you running?
At Lucas Oil, we take pride in creating problem-solving products to make your car care easier. We protect your vehicle and make it run longer so you can focus on the things that matter most. Whether it's commuting to work, visiting a loved one, taking the kids where they need to go, going to the big game, or anywhere life takes you, Lucas Oil is committed to getting you there for all of life's important moments. Lucas Oil, it works.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. With a nationwide network of parts and care, Napa helps you get up and go. Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance. And by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
And the fans have been treated to a fantastic battle here at Ironman Raceway. We'll show it to you with a Lucas Oil race recap. Ken Roczen leading early. Here comes your series leader, Eli Tomac. Everything counts between Tomac and his championship rival, Chase Sexton, and Tomac fires first.
And Ken Roczen doing his best to keep Eli behind him, but there's not much he can really do as Eli makes his way to the front.
Then here's Sexton following, and Roczen looks over and lets his teammate go, and then it was down to the gap. Could Sexton catch Tomac? He could. He started closing and then a mistake.
This is an interesting mistake right here. There's not much he could have done on a steep hill like that. He has to re-enter the track. Didn't look like he gained a whole lot of advantage. Gap's about the same, so I think it's going to be a not non-issue there.
And then he catches Tomac, and watch this. Tomac a bobble, and here goes Sexton to the lead.
Yeah, Eli just catches that rut, nearly hide sides, and Chase takes advantage of it.
And it looked like it was over, but then Tomac finds something out of nowhere to catch him again and retake the lead in the same spot.
You know what he found? He found a 2:01, fastest lap of the race at the two-lap board.
That was his best lap right there before the 2 laps to go sign. On the final lap, Sexton uncorked the 2:01, but it was not enough. And Tomac takes the Moto win. Unreal as we try to catch our breath. The fantastic championship action. We'll send it down to Jason Thomas on the podium.
Well, guys, I wish I could say I had Eli Tomac, but he has not come around yet, so I'm sure the remnants of Moto 1 probably were taking a toll on him, but let's see, here we go. We're coming up now. So we have your Moto winner, Eli Tomac, and after that race, nobody could blame him for a little bit of a break there, but Eli, 2 laps ago, you uncork a 2:01 there. Where did that come from? I think everybody was taken aback by that.
Gosh, it was just an all or nothing situation. That's what we're in right now. That's where I had to dig, and that was it. We both passed each other in that same turn. It was good for setup. Whether you're inside or outside, obviously learned from that earlier on. So yeah, that was awesome.
Well, incredible ride by Tomac, and if you were looking for him to answer in this championship, that was it.
He did. You got to get the motosport.com whole shot replay in there. We're stunned at what the performances were from both of those contenders in this. Off the start, you won't see much of either. Christian Craig going to lock it down, Brock.
Yeah, he did. Christian did the whole shot that you've been expecting to see all year. And last week's winner, Jason Anderson, no luck at all. Ends up on the ground there with just a battle ahead of him. But he did a good way getting back. Christian gets the whole shot there, and our championship contenders buried back in the field.
Yep, they worked their way through. Anderson, by the way, finished 6th. Tomac just stood back, was against the wall. He just had to do it, had to dig.
Yeah, he did. And I tell you one thing, when JT was mentioning that nowhere to be found, maybe he's recouping, I'll promise you, Eli Tomac's talking to his guys on the team going, hey, I'm not doing what I did last year. If he needs to make an adjustment, he's getting it done. He's not going, well, I won, let's not play with it too much. He's thinking of the next moto.
Okay. All right. Well, the Chase Sexton story from this one, and send it back down to the podium with Jason.
Chase Sexton, I know you're probably not thrilled with the second there, but the pace that you guys were setting and your ability to come from the back and get up there and fight for the lead was still very impressive.
Yeah, it was not a great start for me. I spent a lot of energy getting to the front. I knew where Eli was, and I just rode my butt off. So made a good pass, and then made a few mistakes, and Eli got right back on me, passed me in the same spot. It's an awesome battle between him and I, and it's just fun every moto to do the same thing over and over. So hopefully we can do that again the second moto, and I can end up on top this time.
Well, remember, Weege, after this first moto last week, Sexton had to regroup, came out and dominated Moto 2, so I'm sure he'll be looking to do that again.
Yeah, thanks, JT. That's kind of been the story. Every race, each guy has a reason to leave with confidence.
They did. I mean, nobody rode poorly that day.
Right.
Chase rode fantastic. If Chase could get the whole shot, and Eli get buried in the back, and Chase could win this moto. So this is exactly what we all wanted. Eli was able to pad his lead by a wee bit. If Chase were to win the second moto, and what would happen at that point, the red plate would still stay on Eli's bike. So at least now Eli's got a tiny bit of breathing room.
Send it back to the podium.
Aaron Plessinger, you might have a couple of fans here, I'm not sure, but man, it's been a tough slog at times this summer. That may have been the best I've seen you ride yet.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Something about this place makes me go berserk. I love Indiana, man. I've loved this track ever since I've been coming here. First time in 2015, I got my first outdoor overall, so it's been good to me. That race was tough, man. It was brutal from the start. I was shook back on the start a little bit, and then catching Christian, and I went down, and then I just turned on the afterburners and sprinted to Dungey to get him. And yeah, man, it was good. I was having fun down there, and man, I can't even talk. These fans are too loud, but now I got to give it up to the whole KTM Red Bull factory racing team. They stuck with us, and we're finally getting our roots back and getting back up here on the podium. So yeah, I'm ready to go, Moto 2.
Woo! I'll tell you what, if Aaron Plessinger could find a way to win Moto 2, he'll blow the roof right off this place.
That's an awesome scene down there.
It is. Hey, and congratulations, Aaron. Unfortunately, that's the best ride nobody ever saw. It was just, it's just crazy the fact that so much focus was on the front.
Yep.
So.
And he took the measure of Dungey and Craig. And by the way, Roczen tipped over. We had missed this also because we're so focused on Sexton and Tomac. Roczen ended up finishing that moto in 7th. Anderson came back for 6th from 40th.
So impressive for Jason Anderson again, and Plessinger rode really, really well. Unfortunately, again, we focused so much on the lead, but that is where the story is. It's the championship we want to all see, and we got to see it in next moto. I can't wait.
Yep, it's up to Sexton to answer back at Moto 2, which we'll have for you in a little over an hour. It'll be 250 Moto 2 next here live on MAV TV. The contenders put on a battle of the ages. Sexton comes from behind, takes the lead. Tomac gets him back and scores the win.
Coming into this year, January, I break my pelvis the week of Oakland. The doctor's like, dude, don't walk on it for a month. I remember calling my parents. I'm like, well, I'm done. And it's contract year. I was like, I just wasted all this. I don't really see a sport that's like it, to be honest with you.
I can't have you just rolling your eyes at us. You got some.
Hey, where are you going? Hey. That's the giveaway bike. Hey, come on.
Hey, we're supposed to put that back in the shop.
Get off that thing.
We're supposed to be riding that thing.
That's the giveaway